What is the worst thing that has happened to you on your birthday? There I was, all snug and comfortable, ate and slept all day long. Then, out of nowhere, and for no good reason, I get squeezed out of a way too small hole. Bright lights are in my face and some dude slaps me for no reason. Worst birthday ever. My friends threw a surprise birthday party for someone else. And before it started they were posting pictures on Instagram, so I got excited thinking it was for me. Just that it wasn't. A longtime friend and I share a birthday, and we used to always celebrate together when we were in school. When we turned 17, I ran up to her and screamed, "Happy birthday," and she responded with, "I have cancer." She lived and beat it though, so it could be a lot worse. My mom's funeral was the day before my 27th birthday, so the day after was spent mourning her loss, talking to my uncles about next steps, and keeping my grandmother from dying of shock. She ended up dying of shock anyways. 2 weeks later, I was turning 13. Big birthday. My mom got me 3 presents. Present 1 was a birdhouse. Present 2 was a lamp. Present 3 was really big and she made me save it for last. She kept hinting that it was something really great. I 100% thought it was a boom box, what I had asked for. Turns out it was bed sheets. Love my mom and don't want to seem ungrateful, but that was a bummer for 13-year-old me. 32-year-old me would love that now. Edit. Jesus. Now after reading some of the comments, this seems very insignificant. Sorry to all who have had far worse birthdays. My mother decided I didn't deserve one that year. I was 9, I think. I was supposed to meet about a dozen people at a restaurant. I arrived a bit early since I picked up the cake. The restaurant had pushed several tables together for us in the middle of the dining room, monsieur. No one showed up. There were no cell phones back then, so I had to keep using the restaurant's phone to call people. No one answered. I called my answering machine and one couple had left a message that they had to cancel. But there was nothing from anyone else. I naively hoped that meant they were just running late. I kept making excuses to the restaurant staff. Sitting at all those tables alone was awful. They were annoyed I was taking up tables that they could use for other customers, and they finally moved me into a booth. Now I'm sitting in a booth with a birthday cake for myself and no one else there. Everyone keeps staring at me. Out of desperation, I called an ex-boyfriend and begged him to come and at least sit with me a little while so I wouldn't be there all alone, just in case someone else eventually showed up. He had other plans but did come and sit for a few minutes. A waiter came over and he didn't order anything. Then he left. That just made things even worse. In tears, I took the cake and ran out of the restaurant without saying anything to anyone. I dumped the cake in a trash can and went home. I never went back to that restaurant again, and it had been my favorite. That is actually so sad. This reason right here is why I never plan anything big for my birthday. Simply just out of fear of disappointment. Did you ever find out why nobody showed up? That is awful. I'm so sorry. One of my arch-enemies made my mom think I was his friend and invited "Hi monsieur" when no one was looking. He pressed my face on the barbecue griller, then pretended to run to me as if he cared about me. I got a 2-degree burn. Jesus, did they know it was him that did it? I got older. I was about 10 and no one remembered. Phew. Discovered that while out on a pub crawl, my best mate had been upskirting me most of the night. Multiple pics, vids, flash photography, you name it. After he had left for the night, a still newish work colleague who had witnessed the last incident reluctantly sidled up and informed me. To say I was disbelieving and in shock doesn't even begin to cover it. Despite being somewhat tipsy from the night's festivities, I then had to return to the previous bar we'd stopped at and ask for confirmation and a copy of the CCTV footage, so that I could then file a police report. Best mate was then raided and caught with several explicit images of me on his phone. This, along with the 12 minutes long CCTV footage, dragged out for a while before going before court. He received a $400 fine and a spent conviction. Doesn't show up on his record. As a result, I have very little faith in our magistrates and justice system, and no idea where or who has viewed those images. The worst part? Most definitely the betrayal, confusion, inability to trust, depression, sadness. Yeah, fuck that guy. I'm sorry that happened and was mishandled. I hope you can trust again and are able to lift out of your depression. Got locked out of my dorm room on the way to the bathroom without my bathroom key or phone, so I slept the rest of the night in the public den on the couch with lights on and still needing to pee. I felt sick all day. It was a really bad cold. Then my laptop broke and I spent 3 hours on the phone talking to customer service. I found out I had to send my computer almost 2,000 miles away and I would be without one for a month. I was very frustrated from the terrible customer service. Then I had a hard project to work on. My roommate had ignored me all day, mad at me for waking her up when I was knocking on my door trying to get back in. But she refused to let me in. To top it all off, she brought a guy over who was going to stay the night. I was uncomfortable sharing a room with a male stranger sleeping right across from me. If he opened his eyes, he'd clearly be able to watch me. I asked him to leave because I was tired and not feeling well. He said he wouldn't be a problem and would be quiet. That's not what I was going for. So I spent the night in someone else's dorm room on an uncomfortable futon and a scratchy pillow. My birthday is 9/12. My first party on my birthday was planned to be Chuck E. Cheese. My parents decided 5 would be the big one, and it's my first full sequence of firm memories. I was absolutely stoked. But yeah, America's worst tragedy happened, and of course the next day nobody showed. It's hard to explain to a child that no one came to their birthday party. Even harder to say the reason is 3,000 people died. That one time I told my parents that the one thing I wanted for my birthday was to have breakfast like a regular family. Then they slept until noon when the crack dealer knocked on the door. True story. Found out my dad was cheating on my mom. I was using his phone to play a song when the lady messaged him. When I was young, I had a large sleepover. I got super sick during it, because I had an undiagnosed anxiety disorder that made me want to vomit whenever I left my house, or people came to my house. Also, while I was in the bathroom, a bunch of my friends took water and poured it all over my bed and pillow, so I couldn't sleep there. Then, in the middle of the night, a few girls trashed my room and stole a few of my toys. It was just 3 days ago. Lost my job, stranded away from home, no family or friends nearby due to lockdown, hardly making ends meet. At least my family and friends wished me. So yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't really know how I'm supposed to keep moving forward. Keep me in your prayers, please. Hang in there and keep going, buddy. And happy belated birthday, closing parenthesis. Thank you. Something that helps me is to remind myself that one day I'll look back at my current situation while in a much better one. Here's a minor example. You're lying in your comfy bed and clean room, suddenly remembering how dirty it was a week ago. But it's over and now you're in a better place. Family and friends prepared a surprise party for me. The day before, my boss at the time called me from Israel and said that he totally forgot about a very important meeting back in our country at final stages of M&A my company was working on. The meeting was in another state and he wanted me to cover. I got on the first flight possible and spent the whole day on this meeting. Couldn't catch the last flight back and spent my B-day by myself far from home. Family reunited anyway and sang me happy birthday through FaceTime. My 11th birthday, I had the flu and my grandfather died. I was so sick I didn't completely understand what was going on. At least I had improved a few days later to go to the funeral. 21st, locked my keys in my car with the alcohol I just bought. My ex cheated on me and slept with someone else. Heartbreak. Got plaster in my eye and spent the day streaming tears. On my 18th birthday, I woke up to the news that a guy named Carer was murdered because some gangs thought he was gay. He was not, but only dressed differently and dyed his long hair blonde because he was an actor. The news were all over Facebook and it pretty much ruined the day. He was innocent and he just died in vain. 9/11. Hey, birthday ruined by 9/11 club. My birthday is after 9/11. And it ruined my birthday too because my mom said no to almost every single video game I asked for. That year, all the games I wanted were violent, and she said it was disrespectful. AWH bummer. Did you tell her that it wasn't you flying the planes? Lol. Worst childhood birthday. Fell down the stairs and landed face first on the square post at the end of the banister. I was 7. Still went to school with cupcakes and stitches. Worst adult birthday. My mom died on my son's birthday, which is 2 days before my own. I forgot my birthday even happened. It got lost in the grief. She was cremated and it was printed in the paper on my 28th birthday, so I took calls while planning the service. I finally noticed my age change the following year. My ex broke up with me after celebrating it. Spent the rest of the night crying. I was born. My birthday has been ignored by my family since I was 14. Here's why. My 14th birthday was the day after my maternal grandfather passed away. So my mom didn't acknowledge it. Not mad, I totally get it. I also finally snapped and slapped my bully across the face. My 15 was also forgotten cause of the 1 year. My 16th was okay cause mom tried to make up for it. My 17th wasn't memorable. My 18th was overshadowed by my entire graduating class, including my step-siblings having graduation the same day. That's fine, I guess. My 21st I spent at work. My 22nd. By then I lost count. My mom went on vacation with my niece and nephew and stepdad. Also invited my brother but did not invite me. And they were leaving on my birthday. My best friend and fiance came in and fixed it for me though, so it ended up being okay. 23 was finally good cause my fiance started making them good, but now I'm so old I hardly care. This year my mom didn't even plan for my birthday and blamed not getting me even a card on, well, you're always ordering shit on Amazon, how am I supposed to know what to get you? You should know that even though your mom doesn't show well, she probably loves you very much. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.